So it's our day one. So let's start the first question, that is contains duplicate. So let's start solving the question. पहले देखते हैं क्वेश्चन है क्या बेसिकली. सो क्वेश्चन इज यू आर गिवन इन टीचर अरे. मुझे एक इंटीजर अरे दिया है, रिटर्न ट्रू, मैंने ट्रू रिटर्न करना है. इफ एनी वैल्यू रिपीट्स अपीयर्स एटलीस्ट ट्वाइस इन दी एरे. इसका क्या मतलब है, अगर एरे में कोई भी एलिमेंट एटलीस्ट ट्वाइस मतलब एक से ज़्यादा बार रिपीट हो रहा है तो ट्रू रिटर्न करो एंड रिटर्न फॉल्स इफ एरी एलिमेंट इज डिस्टिंक्ट. जनरली इसका क्या मतलब है, अगर एरे में कोई डुप्लीकेट नहीं है ना तो एरे को उसमें रिटर्न फॉल्स कर दो. अगर डुप्लीकेट है एरे में तो रिटर्न ट्रू करना है. तो हाउ वी कैन सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम. So as you can see over there, this here is the here array. We have 1 repeated 2 times, so we will return true. And here every element is distinct, 1 2 3 4, so we have returned false. So here 1 is repeated, so we can return true. 3 is repeated, we don't you can say if 1 is repeating, 3 is repeating, that we doesn't matter much. If any at least one of the element is repeating, then we have to return true. सो दिस इज़ दी क्वेश्चन. आप सोचो कि अब उसको करना कैसे है. एक एरे दिया हुआ है, ठीक है, तो उसमें से डुप्लीकेट फाइंड करके मतलब कैसे करोगे. बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन है, बहुत इजी मतलब बहुत इजी. कैसे करोगे, तो इस वीडियो को पॉज करो, सोचो, फिर मैं आपको इसको सॉल्व करने के लिए 2 अप्रोचेस बताता हूँ, ठीक है, कैसे सॉल्व होगा ये. So let's move to the whiteboard and discuss the various approaches to solve this problem. Let's get started. So let's say I have the array 1 2 3 and 1. So there are 2 approaches to solve this problem. The first approach, this will solve the problem in the time complexity with the O of n log of n, and the space complexity will be constant space. So first approach will solve the problem using the time complexity n log n, and it will use the constant space. But the second approach, if you want to solve this problem in the O of n time, then there is a second approach which will solve the problem in the time complexity of n and the space complexity also O of n. So here is the main difference between these 2 approaches. So what is the first approach? So I will be discussing the first approach, by which will use the time complexity of n log of n. So let's get started by discussing the first approach. And so first approach will be, let's say here is my array. What if I will sort my array? Let's say I am sorting my array and the array becomes 1 1 2 3. Now every element will come next to each other. So after sorting the array, what should I do? I will iterate the whole array. मैं सभी array को iterate करूँगा, i के एलिमेंट को चेक करूँगा. तो मैं यहाँ पर ऐसे चेक कर रहा हूँ कि if my I am standing at there and checking whether this element is equals to its next element, then return true here. If it has been solved over there, and if this condition true for any of the element, I will return true after the loop. If this condition never occurs, never executes, then it will return the false statement. Okay, how you can do that? Let's say, so here is the pseudocode for it. That is by, let's say, first of all let's sort the array. After sorting the array, I will run the loop from I equals to 0 and I will less than n minus 1, because if I am standing at here, then it should run the loop up to this point. If I am not, if it runs the loop for the last element, then it will be checking the next element, which will return an error, that is overflow of the array. So let's say I plus plus. So in the loop I will be checking that array of I is double equals to array of I plus 1. that is अगर एलिमेंट उसके नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट के इक्वल हो गया, मतलब इसमें वो एलिमेंट डुप्लीकेटेड है, ठीक है. तो हम रिटर्न क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पर कर देंगे रिटर्न ट्रू, यस कि यहाँ पर हम ट्रू रिटर्न कर देंगे एंड दैट्स इट। फिर लूप के बाहर आके अगर ये कंडीशन ट्रू हुई नहीं कभी तो हम यहाँ पर रिटर्न कर देंगे फॉल्स, दैट्स इट। सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट अप्रोच। सो लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड by discussing the so it will solve the problem in the n log n time complexity. So how it will solve the n log n in time complexity? So this loop will take the O of n time complexity and the sorting will take O of n log of n time complexity. So by overall combining this problem, so you can say here the time complexity will be equals to O of n log of n plus O of n. So overall it will be n log n. So that's it for the first approach. Let's move forward by discussing the second approach. So here I have an array. So without sorting, how we can solve this problem? Let's take a hash map. So I have taken a hash map over there and I will iterate the array. So I will run a single loop. Let's say I am there and I will make the entry of that element into the hash map and increment and setup is count. So here is the element and here it is its count. So 1 is repeating 1 times over there, 2 when I move to the 2, so it will add up the entry over 2 over there and initialize it as a 1, it is repeating just every 1 times. And let's move to the 3, the next element, and it is also not yet repeated, so when I move to the next element it is 1, so it will update the 1 entry to the 2. So whenever any time the count of the any element is greater than or equals to 2, so there is no need of providing a greater than sign. It will always stop the condition at equals to true. This is enough condition for it. If count of any element is double equals to 2, so it should return true. That's it. Loop will break over there. If this condition not true into the loop, then we will simply return false. Isn't it simple? So how it is basically, let's discuss this pseudo code, how we can implement that. Let's say I have taken a map. Okay, I have taken a map, let's say integer map, into the integer comma integer map. Okay, so I will run the loop. So I equals to 0, I is less than n, then I plus plus. So first of all I will make up the entry into the map. Okay, mp, that is array of I element is plus and plus plus. Okay, so it will add up the count over there. If it is very simple, that if mp of arr I is double equals to 2, then I should simply return true. I will move so here loop overs and here I will return false, because if this condition never trues into the loop, then it will execute that iteration. If it is not returning the function, returning the value over there, then it will return the false value over there. तो इसमें क्या होगा, एरे में इसका ये काउंट ऐड हो जाएगा. आफ्टर जो काउंट ऐड हो गया तो ये चेक करेगा कि उसका जो काउंट है कहीं 2 तो नहीं आ गया उस एलिमेंट का कहीं पर भी, तो वहाँ पर 2 रिटर्न कर देगा. So which will be, so the space complexity for map is n, and for the running time of the loop is also n. So that's it for that. That's by saying the time complexity of this algorithm is O of n, and the space complexity of this algorithm is also O of n. This approach basically O of n. So these are some of the two approaches. So let's discuss which is the most efficient approach. So if you want a better time complexity, then this is the approach. This is a good approach. If you want constant space time complexity, constant space, then the first one is the better algorithm for it. So let's implement both of it and let's try it out whether it works or not into the compiler. Let's move forward. Yeah, it is working fine. Let's submit the code and see whether it works for all test cases or not. Oh yeah, it works for all test cases. So let's move forward by discussing the second approach. Let me just comment it out. So I will show in this approach here. I should return. Let's see. Yeah, so this video also, so this also, so दोनों बहुत कोड अच्छे से चल रहे हैं. तो देखो कि जो फर्स्ट सेकंड कोड है वो थोड़ा एफिशिएंट है, जिसमें टाइम कम कम लग रहा है, बट मेमोरी उसमें थोड़ी सी लग रही है. तो यहाँ सेकंड कोड है उसमें सो एन लोगन टाइम लग रहा है, तो टाइम हल्का ज़्यादा है, बट स्टिल memory उसमें constant है. So in the next video I will be discussing about the second question, that is maximum sub array. Okay, so in the next video I will be discussing the maximum sub array question. So if you like this video, if you got the concept of how to solve this particular problem, how to approach these problems, then do like this video, subscribe करना ना भूलना, and more will be coming soon. Soon means very soon.